Hello students, today we are reading third chapter of First Flight, that is two stories about flying, and we will just read the second part, that is Black Aeroplane, written by Frederick Forsyth. This story is based on the theme that there is a divine power that controls and guides human efforts. In this chapter, the narrator is a pilot, a professional pilot, who is so eager to meet his family and have a good breakfast that he takes the wrong decision of facing the storm instead of going the right thing. Miraculously, he somehow manages to just save himself or to overcome his problem to save with the help of a mysterious aeroplane. Okay, let's move to the chapter. The moon was coming up in the east behind me, and wait a minute, and the stars could be seen twinkling, that means shining in the clear sky above me. So that means it was night time when the sky was clear and the stars could be seen twinkling, shining in the sky. Clear sky, that means the sky was clear, and the moon and the stars, they are all clear and shining in the clear sky. Above me means above the narrator, because the narrator was sitting in the aeroplane. He was a professional pilot. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. That means the pilot felt peace in being above a country in the aeroplane, and there wasn't a cloud in the sky. That means the weather was fine, favorable. I was happy to be alone, high up above the sleeping countryside. Sleeping countryside means we can say above a country that had fallen asleep while he was flying over France to England. I was flying my old Dakota aeroplane. That means that is a aeroplane name, the old Dakota, over France back to England. So you have to just be particular about it to learn this thing, that he was flying over France to England. That means he was going to his to meet his family in England. I was dreaming of my holiday and looking forward to being with my family. So he was just thinking, he was just fantasizing about having holidays with his family. And I looked at my watch, 1:30 in the morning. So what was the time? It was 1:30, 1:30 in the morning, and he was fantasizing about holidaying with his family. Right? Now move to the next. I should call Paris Control soon, I thought, as I looked down past the nose of the aeroplane. So when the aeroplane was in France, the pilot thought of informing the Paris Control personnel about its presence and for instructions. I think you all are aware that the aeroplane pilot, they have to just give the message to the control room so that they can provide them another further instructions and further directions. I saw the lights of a big city in front of me. So at that time, lights from the Paris city were blaring at him or were shining at him. That means he was able to see the lights of that big city. I switched on the radio and said, Paris Control, Dakota DS-088, here. Can you hear me? I am on my way to England. Over. So he informed the control agency, he informed the control room, to which they will just reply with further instructions for the directions, or we can say on directions. So he just informed them that I am on my way to England. The voice from the radio answered me immediately. DS-088, I can hear you. You ought to turn 12 degrees west now, DS 088 over. So the control room at Paris instructed him to turn 12 degree towards the west. So that means we can say everything was going fine. He was able to contact the control room. He was able to get the instructions and the directions from the control room, right? Then I checked the map and the compass, switched over to my second and last fuel tank. Mind about this thing. So, after receiving the instructions, the pilot just geared up and followed the instructions, and then he just switched over to his second and last fuel. That means he just put the last fuel tank into operation, right? And turned the Dakota 12 degrees west towards England. So we can say he just followed all the instructions. He just moved according to the instructions given by the Paris control that he has to turn 12 degrees towards the west for England. I shall be in time for breakfast, I thought. So he was very eager that he would be in time, and he would be in time for breakfast, or we can say he was just dreaming about his time with his family. And then a good big English breakfast. Everything was going well. It was an easy flight. So he was just thinking, he started thinking about having a satisfactory breakfast at the destination point. What was that? England. And he was very calm. He was very peaceful. He was very satisfied as everything was going as planned. Everything was going well. That means we can say the weather was favorable, and he was just able to uh, just have that flight as easy as possible. That's why he just called it an easy flight, because everything was going well. The weather was favorable, right? Compass means instrument for telling direction. Okay? Then Paris was about 150 kilometers behind me when I saw the clouds. Storm clouds. They were huge. They looked like black mountains standing in front of me across the sky. Now, the plane had crossed Paris when he started seeing clouds in the sky. Now, the presence of clouds made it unsafe to travel by air, because there were chances of a storm. They were so huge and dark that the pilot compared them with black mountains. And he knew this thing. I knew I could not fly up and over them. He knew this thing, that he could not pass them, as it was impossible to go above them or escape them with the amount of fuel that was left in the last tank. And I didn't have enough fuel to fly around them to the north or south. So now he was in dilemma, what he should do, to do or not to do, right? I ought to go back to Paris, I thought, but I wanted to get home. I wanted that breakfast. Now we can say the right decision would have been to fly back to Paris safely. But the pilot's decision making was just clouded, was just overcome by his wish to meet his family. He just wanted so desperately to be with his family and have that English breakfast that he had been dreaming of all the day. And that's why he took the risk of not going back, right? So, again, I am repeating, I ought to go back to Paris, I thought, but I wanted to get home. I wanted that breakfast. I shall take the risk, I thought, and flew that old Dakota straight into the storm. So what he took the risk of not going back, and then that's why he just moved the plane right into the storm. Why? Because he wanted to be with his family and wanted to spend time with his family. Okay? Inside the clouds, everything was suddenly black. So it was very dark. It was so dark because of the storm that nothing was visible outside the plane. It was impossible to see anything outside the aeroplane. The old aeroplane jumped and twisted in the air. So he started losing control of the aeroplane. The compass, the old aeroplane, I looked at the compass. I couldn't believe my eyes. The compass was turning round and round and round. So what happened? The compass just stopped working. First, it just moved round and round, and that means it was dead. It would not work. The other instruments were suddenly dead too. I tried the radio now. So the compass and other instruments had stopped working because of the bad weather, because of the storm, and now he became very helpless. Paris control, can you hear me? There was no answer. The radio was dead too. I had no radio, no compass, and I could not see where I was. So he tried calling the Paris control, who had helped him earlier, but could not connect because of the weather. And that is the main thing that's why they have to just be in contact with the control room, so that they can easily get the directions or the instructions from that room, from that place. But he was now not able to connect because of the weather. Now I was lost in the storm. Then, in the black clouds quite near me, I saw another aeroplane. It had no lights on its wings, but I could see it flying next to me through the storm. So, in the midst of nowhere, when everything failed, he just saw a ray of hope when he saw another aeroplane. He felt relieved when he saw another pilot's face, and even the willingness to help him escape the storm. Right? So, we can say whenever we are in any adversity, or we can say in difficult time, and if we see another person, then we became so hopeful that person would help us, right? I saw another aeroplane. It had no lights on its wings, but I could see it flying next to me through the storm. I could see the pilot's face turned towards me. I was very glad to see another person. He lifted one hand and waved, so that means he was willing to help him escape the storm. He thought to himself that the other pilot is very kind, as he knew that they were lost and now was trying to help him. Right? So, follow me. He was saying, follow me. He knows that I am lost, I thought, and he is trying to help me. Right? Then he turned his aeroplane slowly to the north in front of my Dakota, so that it would be easier for me to follow him. So we can say the other pilot took his plane ahead of the lost aeroplane. That means to the aeroplane of the narrator, to make it easier for them to follow. And the narrator just followed him. I was very happy to go behind the strange aeroplane like an obedient child. And the narrator followed him like an obedient child. Why? Because now he was just hopeful that this strange aeroplane would help him. Right? That's why he was just following him like an obedient child. Which device is there? Which figure of speech is there? That is simile. After half an hour, the strange black aeroplane was still there in front of me in the clouds. Now, There was only enough fuel in the old Dakota's last tank to fly for for 5 or 10 minutes more. So now he was also just we can say afraid, because there was very less amount of fuel left, and it was he was just so frightened. He was just panicked, because there was uh, less fuel, very less amount of fuel, and that is enough for 5 to 10 minutes only. I was starting to feel frightened again, but then he started to go down and I followed through the storm. So again we can say he only then it was only then he started just coming out of the storm and could see the runway. That means he was just following the storm. Suddenly I came out of the clouds and saw two long straight lines of lights in front of me. So what was that? That was runway. It means he was now he just started coming out of the storm and could see the runway to land his plane safely. So it was a runway, an airport. I was safe to see those. After seeing those two long straight lines of lights in front of the plane, the narrator was very excited. That means he has just reached at the airport. He was safe now. I turned to look for my friend in that black aeroplane, but the sky was empty. So here, when he turned to thank the other pilot, he realized that the plane that helped him had disappeared as soon as he came out of the storm. So we can say now he was not able to see that black aeroplane, or we can say his friend in the black aeroplane, uh, to whom he wanted to thank. There was nothing there. The black aeroplane was gone. I could not see it anywhere. I landed and was not sorry to walk away from the old Dakota near the control room. Now, just mind, be specific about it. The author didn't know where he had landed. I landed. And he was not afraid of leaving his plane unattended. He just moved. That means he was not sorry to walk away from the old Dakota near the control tower. When the narrator just safely landed on the earth, he wanted to say thank you to the pilot of the black aeroplane who saved his life. But the control room was at some distance, and to reach there, he had to walk that distance. But keeping in mind the importance of that pilot, he didn't feel sorry to walk away from the old Dakota, because he was willing. He just, that means we can say he was a humble person. He wanted to thank, he wanted to feel or show the gratitude towards that person who has helped him in that difficult time, right? I went and asked a woman in the control center where I was and who the other pilot was. I wanted to say thank you. So we can say he headed just straight into the control room to ask about the other pilot, right? But and that means we can say he inquired about the another aeroplane, and then he just asked where is that uh, other aeroplane. I wanted to say thank you. She looked at me very strangely and then laughed. Another aeroplane? Up there in this storm, no other aeroplanes were flying tonight. Yours was the only one I could see on the radar. So, radar is a system for detecting the presence or directions of the aircrafts or ships or other objects, right? By sending out the pulses of radio waves, we can say, which are reflected of the objects back to the source. That means that is used to detect the presence of these aircrafts. So he was just she just answered when he went to the control room to know about the pilot of the black aeroplane, to thank him. The woman, that lady who was just there, was very surprised at his question, because there was no other aeroplane flying that night, and that's why she looked at him strangely. So, who helped me to arrive there safely without a compass or a radio? So, when to his utmost surprise, the lady just informed him that there was no other plane in the sky except him because of the bad weather, then he is left surprised with a lot of questions unanswered in his mind. And what were those questions? That who helped him to arrive there safely without a compass or a radio, or without any more fuel in my tanks? Who was the pilot on the strange black aeroplane flying in the storm without lights? So these questions were unanswered, right? So we can say, after reading the story, it can be clearly said that the narrator was definitely helped by someone. It could be a natural power, supernatural power, or his own sixth sense. Or we can say it could have been his willpower, which helped him to come out of the situation, right? So the narrator just inspires the readers to keep faith and never give up in the face of adversity, right? That's why in the beginning it has been said that this chapter is based on the power of divine. That means there is someone who will help us in any difficulty. The main thing is we should have faith and never give up. Okay, now move towards the questions. First one is, I shall take the risk. What's the risk? Why does the narrator take it? The risk here refers to not doing the right thing. And was that which is flying back to Paris when he came to know about the storm. So, despite being aware of the bad weather, the pilot headed straight into the storm and risked the lives of his fellow passengers also. And actually, that decision was clouded by his wish to meet his family. He so desperately wanted to be with his family and have that English breakfast he had been dreaming of all day. That's why he just took it. Next one is, beside the narrator's experience as if you describe the narrator's experience as he flew the aeroplane into the storm. The narrator was very frightened as he lost control of the plane. He felt helpless as the compass and other instruments had stopped working. Nothing was visible outside the aeroplane when suddenly, in the midst of nowhere, an unknown plane was visible. The pilot was, its pilot was eager to help him. The narrator was frightened because there was very less fuel left, but somehow he managed to escape the storm with the help of the strange pilot who he could not thank. Why does the narrator say, I landed and was not sorry to walk away from the old Dakota? So here we can say he was not sorry to walk away from the old Dakota because he wanted to thank that person who helped him. And that's why he just moved towards the control room to inquire about the mysterious plane which has helped him out of the storm. What made the woman in the control center look at the narrator strangely? When he asked about the other pilot that helped him escape the storm, the lady became just surprised. She looked at him strangely. This is because there was no other plane in the sky during such bad weather. Who do you think helped the narrator to reach safely? So we can say it was pilot's own conscience which helped him out of the storm. There was no other plane out on that stormy night, so probably we can say it was his own capability as a pilot which led him out of that black cloud. Okay, that's all. Good day. Thank you.